Hello everyone, my name is Ali and I'm from Centennial Journalism. We are with Andrew Yorke, who is an triathlete running in 2015 Pan Am Games. Thank you, Andrew, so much for joining us today.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
So my first question is, how does it feel to win U23 Athlete of the Year and Triathlon Magazine Canada Junior Athlete of the Year in 2006?
That was pretty cool. I'd had a pretty good season. Um, I knew that I was probably going to get that award. I would have been probably disappointed if I didn't. But at the end of the day, I wanted to have some good races, and if the awards come, that's kind of nice. But that's not why we do it, right?
Absolutely. Now, you almost came close to quitting the sport. What motivated you to continue doing what you love?
Yeah, it was pretty tough. I had a rough couple of years with having a spinal infection that nearly cost me my life, and then also my ability to even train. I had a number of injuries following that. My body just didn't seem to recover the way it used to, and yeah, once I was able to kind of get past that and make a few changes the way I trained and how I ate. I got healthy, and now I've no reason to think about quitting. It's been a few years since going through that rough patch, so I'm happy with where I am in the sport right now.
Now, as an athlete, what is the biggest challenge so far when it comes to preparing for 2015 Pan Am Games, which will obviously be the largest sports event ever held in Toronto?
I'm really excited for Pan Am. I'm going to need to make sure that I take care of the details on a day-to-day basis, and if I do all of the little things like physio, massage, sleeping well, eating right, making sure that my workouts are consistent, and I'm with good training partners, I know that I'm going to have a good performance. I've got a great I got a great network of support around me right now, and at the end of the day, I need to take care of business, and if I do that, I should have a great race.
Now, what is key to winning despite having to deal with injuries?
I think consistency for me and for anyone who does it. If you can't train hard or properly, you need to recover correctly. But if you can't train on a consistent basis, swim, bike, run, 7 days a week, 50 days out of the 365 of the year, you're going to really struggle. So that's my belief at least.
Now, tell me about your gear. How much can a triathlete end up spending on gear? Who are your sponsors? And what would be your dream sponsorship that you're aiming for?
You can spend a lot of money on your gear. Bikes can cost $10,000. Shoes, $150 a pop. For me, I've been really very fortunate to be partnered with a number of great companies over the years. Worked with Specialized Canada for a long time. And they've supplied me with bikes along with Gears Bike Shop in Mississauga there. I've also had the privilege to have great financial sponsors in Benson Steel and Connecticut Water Systems, as well as Royal Containers. They help me train and afford flights and physio, etc. I've also been able to work with CEP compression socks. They've been great to me, and I'd like to be sponsored by Nike in the future. That would be pretty cool.
That will probably be your dream sponsorship.
Yeah, that would be fun. So I'm gonna try to work that out over the fall, but we'll see if it works out or not.
How do you balance swimming, biking, and running at the same time? And what is your favorite out of all those three sports? And do you like all three of them or any in particular?
Yeah, we do. That's our coach's job, is to make sure that we do, have a balanced program. And for different people, it means, different things. For me, it means I need to swim more, so I swim between 15 to 20 hours a week. And it means that I bike a little less than other people, ride, 7 to 8 hours, and run, around 8 hours. So that adds up to about 35 hours of training. My favorite is definitely running. I like being outside. It's social. You can chat with the guys on a long run, and I just really enjoy it. So that's my favorite for sure.
Now, you're in McMaster University, if I'm right.
Yeah,
And what are you majoring in McMaster?
majoring in history.
uh, and it's and how is it an excellent institution to train? How do you balance your training and school at the same time?
Well, it's really nice because we have a 50-meter long course pool, and I've been able to work with like great coaches here that are employed by McMaster University to coach the varsity teams. So Andrew Cole coaches the swim team. Has been great to me, as have Roy Sneed and Paul Schner, the cross country and track program here. For me, it balance has always come down to just making sure that I was able to get the job done academically and athletically. And so McMaster was really my only choice in that department when I started school a number of years ago. So I had to make sure that I was going to a place where I could be flexible with my academics, and so that I could take care of my number one priority, which was my athletic career at the time.
How many hours do you spend in training in general?
Um, Probably like between 30 and 35, some weeks like 25. It all depends on what part of the year you're in. But that doesn't include physiotherapy. It doesn't include all just like the manual labor I do trying to keep myself healthy so I can train that much. So, I do foam rolling or just core exercises or injury prevention. You have to do a lot of napping. It's a full-time job. It's 30 hours a week, but when you add it up, it's really like 50. It's your life. That's what it is. You just every day got to make sure that you're on the ball.
Now that must be very tough for you to balance triathlete and school at the same time.
Yeah, it can be. It can be tough, and it can be stressful at times. But at the end of the day, there's no excuses, and your competitors don't care if you are going to school and you're trying to race, right? They just only care about how good you are when you race. So I need to make sure that I'm ready, when I get to the start line.
Moving along now, let's talk about your icons. Who are your icons? Is it Lance Armstrong or Simon Whitfield? And how your icons inspire you and motivate you?
Mine are definitely like my parents. They've always been huge supporters of me. My entire family has always gone behind me, never put pressure on, but just wanted to see me do well. They got me involved in sport at a young age.
And your dad was in triathlete too, if I'm right.
Yeah, we would go to races when I was younger, and he still does triathlons. It's pretty cool.
So he got you basically involved in the sport, and so it's mostly more like a father and son relationship.
Yeah, I mean, we did our first race, Calvin Kids of Steel, when I was, I think, 11 or 12 years old, and we did it together. So that was pretty cool. We just kind of always would, like, when I was younger, we'd go for bike rides together and go swim in the quarry. Like, we swim in this place up in Caledon. So even when I go home now, we'll go swimming. Doesn't mean we're like working out together, but like we'll go jump in the water and do our own thing, and then come back. So it's pretty cool.
Now, talking about your icons, is Lance Armstrong or Simon Whitfield?
I'm a Simon fan. I don't know Lance, but no, Simon's like a good friend and has helped me out a lot over the past few seasons. I've been really lucky to work with him and get to know him better. I mean, he's not just a great Canadian triathlete. He's a legend within the sport, and so and every time I get a chance to learn from Simon, I'm gonna shut up and listen and know that he has something good to say. And yeah, it's nice to
Now,
have.
Lance Armstrong, who was obviously accused, there were some doping allegations on him. I
Yeah.
mean, what are your top priorities? Like, what do you think? How do you think? What are your thoughts on Lance Armstrong?
I mean, he cheated. He's admitted to it, and it doesn't mean that because everyone else is doing it, it was the right thing to do. I think that cycling had a problem, may still have a problem. Has had a problem for a long time in the past. If you look at the beginning of the sport onwards, doping has always occurred. It's always occurred in other sports as well. And so to just point the finger at Lance and forget about all of the football players or
Do you think they came out a little too hard on him?
no, because he was like illegally trafficking drugs in other countries. And, you can't like transport drugs across borders in Europe. you're committing fraud. You're cheating people out of a job by taking drugs. Not everyone who takes a drug gets the same benefit from it. It's very like personal, at least in what I've read, and so yeah, you should be punished for it, as should anyone else. But I think that people don't get into the sport wanting to take drugs. I think that it's more that they get pushed in that direction because the governing body didn't do their job and protect the athletes and basically protect them by making harsh, anti-doping measures.
Now, Pan Am Games are approaching. What would you like to see personally? Do you think Canadian Triathlon Association should be tougher with athletes when it comes to testings and all that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I think historically Canada hasn't really had many athletes test positive, and I think it's because we've always had strict standards. The World Anti-Doping Organization was formed out of the Dubin inquiry after Ben Johnson tested positive, and we've always been at the forefront of making sure that doping has been enforced. I have to make sure I submit my whereabouts to the Canadian Centre for Athletics and Sport for 1 hour a day every day, and let them know where I'm going to be over the course of that day. And so, if I test positive or if I miss 3 of those 1 hour blocks when they come and show up, then I'm going to have a 2-year ban.
Wow. Now, how is social media important to you as a triathlete? What do you mostly use, Twitter or Facebook?
I like to use Twitter. I find it's the easiest way to get in touch with people.
And how do you connect with your fans locally and globally?
I try to use Twitter. I have a blog that I update from time to time, but more often than not, I'm using Twitter.
So it means Twitter is your favorite website.
Yeah, Twitter for sure.
What is your favorite? What is your Twitter account? If any fan or anyone wants to get in touch with you?
Pardon?
If any fans or wants to connect with you and they want to know your Twitter account, what is it?
It's at Trials Yorke, and Yorke has an E on the end.
So talk about the craziest fan story so far. What has been the craziest fan experience or story as a triathlete?
I generally have had, it would be like in South America or Mexico when you have like after a race, there's like people trying to like take your race suit or they want like free shoes and things like that. But you're generally just like, you sign autographs for a while and then try to get out of there. But if you don't try to get out of there, you could be there for like 4 hours, 5 hours, like tidal wave doesn't stop. So it's normally I'll do it for like 30 or 40 minutes and then roll out.
So nothing really crazy or wild so far?
No, I'm not that big of a rock star.
Now, what are your goals for 2015 Pan Am Games in Toronto, and how important are these games to you as the triathlete?
I'd like to get a medal there. I just basically want to execute to the best of my ability and make sure that I put in a plan that's going to allow me to do that. I want to use it as a trial run for 2016, and so if I can execute well there, then I know that I'll have an idea of what it's going to take, to do well at the next level in 2016, which is going to be more competitive. So yeah.
Now, you were also in London Olympics 2008, Summer Olympics. How was that experience like?
It was very cool. It was great getting to be there and see the dance, but it made me not want to miss out on 2016. So it was a good experience. Good to hang out with Simon and be with him every day in the prep leading up to the games and see the excitement, the nervousness that comes with that, and just make me want to be there.
Now, as 2015 Pan Am Games are approaching, how do most triathletes globally view Toronto?
I think they view it as a great multicultural destination that they want to get to, and a lot of people I don't think have ever been there. So they might be viewing it as a cold, frigid place, but I've lived within 45 minutes of the city my whole life, so I'm looking forward to it, I guess.
What is the biggest accomplishment so far, and what do you hope to accomplish at the 2015 Pan Am Games?
Probably my biggest accomplishment was 18th at World Champs in Auckland, New Zealand, and that was last year, so 2012. I'd like to, expand upon that.